Math is clean, math's easy when you're doing math with Miss Lee.
In this lesson, I'll show you 3 different methods for finding a quadratic equation that has the given conjugate zeros. In my first example, I'll multiply factors to find a quadratic equation that has 4 plus the square root of 5 and 4 minus the square root of 5 as zeros. Form each factor by writing x minus one of the given zeros. So x minus the quantity 4 minus root 5, and x minus the quantity 4 plus root 5. Next, I'll multiply the factors together using the acronym FOIL. So the first terms multiply to equal x squared. The outer terms are x times the opposite of the quantity 4 plus root 5. The inners are the opposite of the quantity 4 minus root 5 times x. And the last are negative quantity 4 minus root 5 times negative quantity 4 plus root 5. I'll finish by adding like terms, so those outers and inners add up to negative 8x. The plus root 5x and the minus root 5x will cancel out. Those lasts, if I FOIL the 4 minus root 5 and 4 plus root 5 together, I'll get 16 plus 4 root 5 minus 4 root 5 minus 5, which is really 16 minus 5, or 11. So my quadratic equation is x squared minus 8x plus 11. In method 2, I'll show you how to work backwards from the zeros to find an equation. I'll start with an equation stating that x is equal to 4 plus or minus root 5. Now I'll gradually move terms to the left side until the right side becomes 0. Subtract 4 from both sides, then square both sides. Be careful to square the left side correctly. On the right, squaring helps us get rid of the plus or minus sign and the square root sign. Subtract to make the right-hand side 0. So our quadratic equation again is x squared minus 8x plus 11 equals 0. In method 3, I'll work backwards using the quadratic formula. I'll do this by matching up parts of the quadratic formula to the zeros I was given. First, to make this easier, I'd prefer my denominator to be 2 instead of 1. So I'll multiply the numerator and denominator of the given zeros through by 2. By doing this, I'll come out with a equal to 1 instead of a equal to 1/2, and it will make the remaining steps simpler. I can also figure out that b must be negative 8. Then, for the radical, I'll push the 2 back into the radical sign, changing the 2 root 5 into the square root of 20. Then b squared minus 4ac must equal 20. Plugging in the values I already found for a and b, I find that c equals 11. This makes my equation x squared minus 8x plus 11 equals 0, which matches the answer I got using methods 1 and 2. I'll repeat all 3 methods using a second example in which the zeros are negative 2 plus I and negative 2 minus I. If you'd like to try this one yourself before I tell you what to do, press pause now and press play again after you finish. For method 1, form each factor by writing x minus one of the given zeros. We'll have x minus the quantity negative 2 minus I, and x minus the quantity negative 2 plus I. Next, I'll multiply the factors together. Finish by adding like terms and multiplying the negative 2 minus I times negative 2 plus I. 4 minus I squared is really 4 minus negative 1, or 5. So my equation is x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 0. Before I walk you through method 2, if you'd like to try it on your own, press pause while you work, and then press play again when you're ready to go on. Start with an equation stating that x is equal to -2 plus or minus I. Now I'll gradually move terms to the left side until the right side becomes 0. Add 2 to both sides, square both sides, and then subtract to make the right-hand side 0. The quadratic equation, again, as in method 1, is x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 0. Again, if you'd like to try this method on your own, press pause and then press play when you're ready. Make the denominator 2 by doubling the numerator and denominator of the given zeros. Use this information to figure out that a equals 1 and b equals 4. Then change the 2i back into a radical. It's the square root of -4. b squared minus 4ac must equal -4. Plugging in the values I just found for a and b, I find that c equals 5. This again makes our equation x squared plus 4x plus 5 equals 0.